Hey everybody, I'm back. Today I am going to try a couple different things, mostly centered around IT Cosmetics. What I've done so far, I primed my eyes with my Revlon Color Stay Skin Awaken 24-hour 5-in-1 concealer. This is Universal Brightener. It makes for a very nice eye primer. It also cancels out, discoloration and things like that. And I have done my eyebrows, and I used a Pharmacy brow powder in light brown, and I set my eyebrows with the e.l.f. setting gel. A lot of times I'll come on here and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna roll with it. Today I think I actually have a plan. I'm gonna take my IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty eyeshadow palette. This is just a really nice palette. It stays nice, it doesn't have a lot of fallout, it's smooth and creamy and has a very nice payout. I need my eyeshadow and my makeup to last because I'm actually going somewhere today, but I trust the IT Cosmetics brand for an eye look, so I'm going to use this as a base, and then I am going to use this Milani Luminoso palette to add a little shimmer and maybe to use the darker colors for an eyeliner. For my base color, I'm going to go in, this is called Dream. I'm going to use this to sweep over my entire lid and up just below my eyebrow. I am using this BS Mall. This is actually a concealer, fluffy concealer brush, but I like it because I just like the way it works for eyeshadow. This is just a nice brush. I hardly ever use brushes for exactly what they were made for. I will use whatever works, regardless. I'm a mixy matchy kind of gal. I like to mix foundations, I like to mix blush. Why not mix brushes? I'm not anal about that, so I don't want to have a lot of heavy eye makeup. I only do that if I'm experimenting or just, having fun with makeup. But if I'm actually going somewhere, this would be a normal look for me. This would be what I would wear out if I were going to an event where it's not super dress up, but not super casual either. On a regular day, if I'm just going to the grocery store and I'm putting on a little makeup, I wouldn't go too much effort at all. In fact, I have a video on that that I made several months ago. That was really bare bones. I'm just not a big overdone makeup girl, which you would never know if you ever watched my contours, but contouring is fun, so make sure. Okay. Nice and neutral, enough to lift my eye a little bit. All right, I'm going to use this same brush to get into some shimmer. I like how this grabs product. Sometimes with shimmer, if I grab the wrong brush or it's just not good enough to pick up whatever shimmer or whatever formula I'm using, I end up switching it anyway, but I know this is a good one. So for my lid, I am going to just go in with a little bit of shimmer. I am not going for a super dramatic look. I'm just going for something, pretty, that's not overdone. So I think what I'll do is I am gonna go in with a Milani Luminoso palette, and I am going to pick up the shade Luminoso. It's between Luminoso and Beam, but I'm going to go ahead and do Luminoso. I think that is a really pretty color. I love the blush, so let's see how this goes. I may not, oh, I like that, okay. I knew this was going to be, was a good risk. It's just makeup. Tonight I am going to a church service. I got invited to go. I've never been to this church before. with some friends of mine that I haven't seen in a very long time, so I'm very excited about it. I've had quite the journey over the last 6, 7, 8 months, probably over the last 6 months especially. It's been very interesting, to say the least. So it's just nice to connect with good friends. And I haven't been to a church for a while. I'm very particular when it comes to church. I don't go to church just to go to church. I'm not a go to church gal on Sunday because I feel like it's an obligation. I'm not religious like that. And when I say religious, I mean that if I'm going to go to church, I want to hear truth. I want to hear what Jesus says. I want to hear what the Bible says. I want to hear a hard message. I don't want to just go in every Sunday, sit on my butt, and greet your neighbor and nothing ever changes. That's not what it's about. So if I go to a church it's wimpy and boring, or I feel like I have to go or else God's going to be mad at me or something, no. I like to go where I feel like I am unapologetically going to talk about this. Let's just get it out there. A lot of times you go to church, God ain't there because he's not been invited there. And a lot of times people go to church, it's just a building. We, the people, are the church. The people of God are the actual church, and we meet in a building. But if the people have not invited God to be there and let him be King and Lord of all, there's no reason to go. You're just going to go and just listen to a nice little pep talk sometimes, or leave feeling guilty or something. Anyway, that's all I was going to say about that. All right. So that is very subtle, but yet very pretty, and I like it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a little bit of a liner, and I'm going to give it some more drama, maybe around the corners, maybe in my, crease, but we shall see. This is a nice liner brush. This is a Bare Essentials full edge liner. It's really nice. It's soft. It's very narrow. I am going to go in with, this is called In the Clouds. If I have too dark of a liner, I feel like it just isn't very flattering. It kind of ages me a little bit. No thanks. All right, so let's see how that's gonna go. I may have to go deeper. I'm just trying this out a little bit. So getting back to like the church thing, I have been a church attender for years, and I've been to churches that I've loved. I've been to churches that I'm like, something ain't right. Unfortunately, people get hurt at church because of poor leadership, and of course, we're talking about human beings. God, he chooses leaders and he gives them a responsibility, but they're human. Nobody's perfect, obviously, but there's a balance. If you leave, nobody that met Jesus left the same way they came. Everybody, there was always a change. Jesus touched the lives of the people, and he's still the same. And when you go to a fellowship, you're going there, if you are a Christian, a Bible-believing Christian, you go there because you want to meet up with the Holy Spirit, Jesus, Holy Spirit, and he changes lives. And if leadership won't let him, because God isn't going to impose himself on anything, if you've got a situation with leadership not allowing him to move the way he'd like to move in the lives of people, it's just impotent and powerless. And what's the point? No, thank you. I got better things to do with my Sunday mornings. So, but if I find one where, I can really connect and form your relationships with like-minded core beliefs and with the same, heart for God, that's exciting to me. I think I'm going to probably darken the upper shadow line a little bit. That just seems a little bit too conservative. I can go in here with intrigue. It's sort of a brownish. Can you see that? Sort of the light is reflecting everything. Sort of a browny maroon sort of color. I think that would be a good complement to my eyeliner. So, any of you live in New England or New York? I heard there was an earthquake this morning. My sister lives in Connecticut. She called me. It was 8 o'clock here, 11 o'clock there, and there was an earthquake. Everybody felt it. Her phone was blowing up like crazy, and like locally and in the New York, Connecticut, just the New England area. But she didn't feel it at all. I thought that was kind of cool. Nothing rattled her house. Everybody around got rattled, but not her house. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So, God will protect his own. If you're scared right now because of the condition of the world, I just want to tell you that you can call out to God and he will hear you and he will save you. Read Psalm 91 if you have a Bible. Psalm 91 talks about protection over God's people. And, I know stuff happens and it doesn't, things can happen. We have accidents and whatever. But typically, if I trust God, if he, what's happening in the earth right now, there's a lot of upheaval. I feel like the lighting in here is just going to really, I'm going to have to edit out a lot of this because of my stupid light. There's a lot of things going on that have got people very unsettled, and it's scary. Just the things that are happening, natural disaster, wickedness in our government, in this nation and across the world. It's just a very unsettling, scary time. But God says, he said, don't be afraid. I've overcome the world. I've overcome everything. It's we can trust him. And, and one of these days, you guys, I will tell you what I just walked through over a prolonged season, and it will blow your mind. So I'm not sitting here just preaching. I'm coming from a place where I know he will. You guys have no idea. I just haven't shared it with you, but I will. I'm not ready yet because I'm still just some of the details of wrapping some of this up. But I'm here to tell you what God has done to ensure my well-being is amazing. And he's no respecter of persons. He doesn't just do it for some people and not for others. If you trust God with your life, he will take care of you. Okay, I think that is going to be good enough for my eyeshadow. I think I'm good with that. Okay. All right, that is enough of that. Nope, I'm going to go in with Imagine, and I'm going to highlight it with that. So I'm just going to go in there and just kind of brighten that up a little bit. I'm putting my eye makeup on first, just in case I have fallout. So I don't like to clean it up. And I do have a little bit there under my eyes. I think I'll sweep it around just a little bit. There we go. Okay, today I am going to use my CoverGirl Supersizer Waterproof Mascara. This is a tubing mascara. I don't particularly like the formula that great, but it's waterproof, and there's a chance I may need it to be waterproof today, so I'm going to do that. But I'm going to curl my eyelashes first. This is an e.l.f. eyelash curler. I bought it new, $3. My sister had an eyelash curler from e.l.f. and I liked it a lot, and so I thought it would be great. I think, though, when I first used it, it was pinching everything and I couldn't grab my lashes. It was just terrible. And I was like, okay, this is gonna go in the trash. But I've broken it in a little bit. It's gotten a little bit better, and I just have to be super careful with it. Not my favorite. I will get a better one at some point, but it's just stiff. And you know, I guess that's to be expected initially. And I mean, what am I gonna do? It's $3. It was $3, so I'm not gonna be too super grumpy about it. Definitely needed to curl my eyelashes today, so I'm just gonna whip on some mascara, whip through this, fast forward it so you're not bored out of your skulls, and I'll be right back. All right, I had to go clean up underneath my eyes. I had a little bit of fallout and some smeary mascara, so I put some moisturizer there so it wouldn't be too dry. I need to color correct, and this Stila palette, if you've watched my videos, you know this is my favorite. It's so wonderful, but it's almost 2 years old, and I can tell, you know, it's starting to get a little stiff, and it might be time to trash it and replace it. But this has been such a wonderful concealer. It's so good at color correction. I love it. So I'm gonna use this today, possibly for the last time, but I'm gonna go in with the peach here, and I'm just gonna warm it up as much as I can in my fingers and kind of let it just melt a little bit so it's not too stiff. It's not too bad. Things do expire. The last few times I've tried to use this, I've just found the fine lines and stuff, it's not been as kind to it as it normally is. So it's, you know, it's just looking a little bit cakier than normal, and that's not typical for this, so it might be time to throw it out. I don't know what the expiration date is on it because it doesn't have it. I don't see an expiration date, so, but if it's not performing the way it used to, as far as how nice it is to my face and under my eyes, it's still, you know, it's covering well for the most part, but it just might be ready to retire. I have a lot of makeup that I'm gonna have to throw out because it's just, I'm not gonna be able to use it all. And my skin, as you know, I've talked about this recently, my skin has just been making demands where I have had to go a little bit above the typical drugstore, although drugstore has been quite impressive. There's still a few drugstore things I have that are still, they're okay, but my drugstore foundations, it's not the drugstore foundation fault, it's my skin. My skin just needs a little extra right now. So I've changed up my skincare routine, hoping that helps a little bit. Maybe I can get back to doing that. I don't know, but for now, I'm just gonna care for my skin the way I need to. Which brings me to my next thing, and that would be my IT Cosmetics CC cream. This is the shade Neutral Medium. I definitely have a neutral toned skin. So what I'm going to do this time is, a lot of times I will put a bunch of concealer, like a white concealer right here to sort of, you know, play down the shadow. And I typically will use my e.l.f. pen, you know, concealer pen, which has been very good. But I have some Bye Bye Under Eye. This is the travel size, and it is, I'm never gonna get through it. It's just like, it's so concentrated that it takes like such a little amount that if I don't start using this up, it's gonna end up getting thrown away. So I think it's light enough to where I'm just gonna go ahead and lighten that center of my face right there, where I would normally lighten, and just use this and see how it works. I'm gonna rub it in my fingers, warm it up. It's very thick. This is a very, 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 very thick concealer. I don't want it to be cakey, so let's just put some there. And I'm gonna put my foundation over the top, so we'll see how that goes too. When you're creating content on YouTube, you pretty much have to keep, you've got to be able to bring product, different product, new product. And a lot of times, you know, you demonstrate it and, you know, you start to build up a lot of it, and, you know, it doesn't get used, but that's just, you know, that's just kind of how it goes. But I'm gonna try to, you know what, I'm just gonna use this for my concealer for my nose. That's what I'm gonna do. And I may not need to use any more concealer for under my eyes, because this CC cream color corrects so well that it just may not be necessary. It looks a little ghostly because it's obviously not, you know, it's concealer, it's not my foundation shade. But it covers, but I do not want it to be cakey. The other nice thing about that CC cream is it's so nourishing that it's very forgiving. So if this does get a little bit cakey looking right now, that CC cream will cover, will fix it. It'll settle really nice on my skin. So having said that, I'm gonna go ahead and use it for a concealer. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just going to do it. But I am going to be very careful. Very careful. Again, warming it up in my fingers. Kind of excited to tell you what I got during Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty. There was something that they had 50% off that I was like, oh, are you kidding? And I missed that day. I missed it. I missed the day that this particular item was on sale for 50% off, and I was so bummed. But after the event was over, they had an extra day where they brought some of that stuff back, and there it was, 50% off. Plus, I had $8 in like bonus money, or what, you know, like you get points. I love it. I love it. It's my absolute favorite thing.
I can't justify paying $26 or $28 for a lip gloss, but it was half price, so it was like, it was $12.50. I don't remember. I literally don't remember. It was either $12.50 or $14. I don't know. But then I got, okay.
I'm gonna stop rambling. It is their Buxom Full Plumping Cream Lip Color. This is, okay, so my NYX Butter Gloss is like probably my favorite drugstore brand of all time, and I will use it over high-end most days. But this Buxom brand is so good. It feels really good. It's super creamy. It lasts. It's gorgeous. It's just, but it's expensive. But it was half off. I think it was $12.50. Then I had an $8 credit. So I ended up paying $4 and something cents for this very expensive, very lovely Prestige line lip gloss and free shipping. Ta-da! Yeah, super awesome. This is White Russian. I like a lot of their colors, but I like this one because it's very neutral and I can use a lip liner to create more of a colorful lip look if I want to. It's a win-win. So I got this literally for less than $5. Score! Let's see how the CC cream goes over the top, hopefully keeping those areas lighter in those areas as much as possible. So I'm going to try to be careful about application. So I'm just going to put maybe a little pump here, maybe about that much, and rub it like this a little bit. And then I'm just going to kind of keep it away from the center as much as possible because I don't want to cover that too much. And then I'm going to I will just get a brush and go in and smooth it out. If I need to add more, I will. Okay, this is BS Mall flat head foundation brush, and I'm going to go in, and this is a nice brush. I like it. Okay, this is working. I love the CC cream. It's so good. I have a feeling I'm going to get through this thing when I go back and look at my recording and find that I screwed up the lighting when I wasn't paying attention, and I'm going to have to edit a bunch of stuff out. I hope not, though. Oh my gosh. It just is so... I'd like to get their translucent setting powder, the Bye Bye Pore setting powder. It's also very nice. But e.l.f. does a good job as a dupe, and I do have that. So, super happy with that. Just a really good coverage. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit, just a slight contour. I promise it's not going to be massive this time. Oh, sure. That's what you always say. So I'm going to put a little bit here on the end of my nose. I can keep my nose from looking too... I've got a wide nose, and it's long, and it hooks downward. I can thank my Jewish relatives for that. And then I'm just gonna just a little slight contour. Nothing extreme. And then maybe a little bit here, a little bit there. I'm gonna use my oval foundation brush. I like it's very dense, and it's really good for going in and blending in that contour. Gets it really nice. This is a Pharmacy oval foundation brush, the small one. I also have a large one. Very nice product. I think I'm gonna come down here a little bit. This is a pharmacy foundation slash contour blending brush. Just put that in there a little bit. My e.l.f. highlighter pen, just to go down the center of my nose. Just bring a little bit of light to the center. And then the tip. And a little bit on the sides. This is a pharmacy dual-ended brush, and I'm just going to use that to just, it's clean. Probably wouldn't normally use it for this, but it's clean. I've used a lot of my brushes lately, so they're not as clean as they need to be for me to do contouring. I do like to contour my nose. Okay. Nice pouty lower lip. Now I'm going to go in with this gorgeous IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores bronzer in the Beach. This is the, it's, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It's just, I can't say enough about it. It's just so beautiful. So I'm going to take this round powder brush from BS Small, and I'm just going to tap it in there. And I like to put bronzer everywhere, especially a good one. But this just warms up the face so nicely, and it's just, it's flawless. Like if I was going to say airbrush, it's not an exaggeration. It's so pretty, so gorgeous. Ooh, love it. Just does something. I know I'm probably disturbing my contour, but I don't care. I'm just having fun with this bronzer. So it's just absolutely amazing. Just and as it sets, you know, it'll settle with my skin a little bit. Just kind of just becomes one with the skin, so it looks really nice. So yeah. So before I put on blush, I am going to now line my lips. I'm going to use this Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in the shade Legendary. And give my lips a little bit of volume. I've got a nice line right there, man. It's just pretty deep, but oh well. Okay, now for the buxom fun. Okay, this lip gloss. See if I can swatch it for you. It's, you know, it's just like a real neutral, like very slight pink tone. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a really multi-purpose. So my lips feel like they're like, it almost feels like therapy on my lips is what it feels like. I love this brand. I used to get it all the time. to get it for $4 and then have it shipped for free. That was like, yeah, who can say no to that? Thank you. It's been a while since, I've really been able to, oh, isn't that cute? It's a cute look, isn't it? It's been a while since I've, been able to purchase any sort of high-end anything. If it wasn't for my birthday, it would have happened. I don't feel guilty about it either. Sometimes I think I shouldn't get that because, I try to stay with affordability and as real as possible and not be, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, and I am though, I don't think I'm overdoing anything really, but I have to be able to, if it, makes me happy, I need to be true to myself too, you know what I'm saying? So, I do try to stay with, the affordable stuff, not least because, that's where my budget is at the moment. But you know what, if I can get a higher end product that makes me look and feel better, I'm doing it. Okie doke, I'm doing it. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do right now is I am going to get some blush going. I've been debating what blush I'm gonna use, but I think I am gonna go in with this very neutral e.l.f. Cosmetics Liquid Camo. This is Dusty Rose. It's very understated. I'm gonna mix it with my e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter. I like it because it makes it a little creamier and I can still adjust how much pigment I want to use. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is the light medium shade. So I am going to mix it as per usual. It's a big, but I've got to use this up. I don't want this to expire. I really like this product. So I'm just going to pick it up, put it on the back of my hand here. Just like about that. Probably gonna be super generous with this, might as well, because if I don't use it, I'll lose it. So let me see. About like that. Ooh, pretty. This is the shade, and it's just, I think it's a perfect blend. I think it's actually goes really well with the color story I've got going on right now, so that's good. And the Halo Glow really does bring a nice glow to your face. It's beautiful, and it's not cakey. Let me grab my brush. This flat head. I'm gonna pick up some more of this thing. And go in there. I love the hack of using that Halo Glow. It just does something really pretty. I really like how that turned out. That is really super pretty. I'm glad I did that. I used almost all of it, but anyway. So yeah, that's the Dusty Rose mixed with the Halo Glow in light medium. Uh-oh. Put a little bit up here. My next door neighbor dogs are going nuts. Like it a lot. All right, the next couple things I'm gonna do is I am going to just maybe slightly powder, just a little bit, and add a little more mascara. This is the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder. I don't have my little powder puffs with me, so I can't use those. Okay. If I can avoid using a lot of powder, that's optimal. I don't like adding any more texture if I can possibly avoid it. This is a pretty good one though. This, this e.l.f. perfect finish. It's a good one. It was actually given to me, and otherwise I would have never even considered using it. There's a lot of things that were given to me that I would have never considered, and I found out how good they were, which is how I ended up starting to do a lot of the drugstore brands, right? So I'm going to bring in a little more mascara, and then I'm done. This particular mascara, when they say waterproof, they are not Whistling Dixie. It's difficult to remove. So you gotta have a good creamy or oily cleanser to remove it. Otherwise you'll be rubbing your eyes to the max. And that's uncomfortable, which is why I typically do not use waterproof mask. Dang it. I just got it on the side there. The place I'm going and the time I have to be there on this Friday afternoon, the traffic is going to be horrible. I am not looking forward to that. But I'm looking forward to going, so I will tough it out. Okie doke. There's my look for today. I'm happy with it. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.